We got to pour one out real quick for my man Skip because this is truly the end of an era. Whether you love him or hate him, Skip Bayless is a legend, and for better or worse, he changed the entire landscape of sports media. Known for his ridiculous takes, his playful hatred with LeBron, this man Skip was a troll before trolling was even a thing. Skip Bayless is a legend, and last Friday was officially his last day on Fox Sports as he's set to leave his show Undisputed. Now for me, if I had Skip Bayless' bank account and I was his age, I would imagine he's probably 70, 71 or something at this point. I would just straight up retire, but apparently he's leaving and going on to do something else. He hasn't given any details yet, but on Twitter he says that Ernestine and Hazel surprised me with congratulation balloons when I returned from my last Undisputed. Can't wait for what's coming next. Here we go. So that Skip Bayless era of FS1 is officially over, and that news was received with a lot of mixed reactions, which I'm a fan of his, but I fully get it. I mean, over the years, Skip Bayless has burned a lot of bridges. He seemed to have made a lot of enemies, whether you're talking about viewers, you're talking about athletes, you can talk about the peers that's also in the industry, but at the end of the day, at 70 years old, he is still a person that people seem to care about. Skip is one of my favorite sports media personalities, and even with all of his faults, I am a fan, and I have been a fan of his for a long time. When I was a kid and growing up, one of my dream jobs was to be a sports journalist, and Skip was a big part of that. I've been supporting Skip since he was on Cold Pizza, which was before First Take, if you're old enough to even know what Cold Pizza is, but Skip has always been Skip. The way that Skip is able to get under people's skin is so hilarious to me because when I watch him strictly for entertainment purposes. I do not look at that man as this knowledgeable person that's going to teach me about something. No, what ridiculous thing is he going to say today? I say this all the time, but sports media in general for me is kind of like Denzel Washington and Training Day. I know that it's BS, but it entertains me. Even as a fan, Skip has done things in the past that I found to be extremely corny. Like years ago, back when he used to call Chris Bosh Spice, and then he brought Chris on First Take and told him to his face, no, you're wrong. I have the right to call you that. Like, don't mock somebody's family name. And then with the whole Shannon Sharpe situation, I'm sure we all remember the put your glasses back on. Skip was 1000% wrong in that situation. And I forgot what he said, but he was trying to make it seem like Shannon was jealous of Tom Brady, which makes no sense. I know he's probably joking when he does this, but Skip has this thing where he throws people's jerseys in the trash can, especially Cowboy players, which is corny to me. I mean, he's not perfect. Skip seems like one of those kids when he was growing up that if he started losing at a game, he's gonna take his ball home. If you make fun of his shoes, he's gonna say that's why your dad died from cancer. He seems like one of those people. But Skip still to this day is still a big deal, and whether people want to say he's winning or he's losing, people are still talking about him. Skip is a prime example of whether you love me or you hate me, you're still gonna watch. Skip is an OG hater. Hating is nothing new to Skip. People hating on Skip is nothing new. First Take, when he was on, it was one of the biggest shows in the world, and people hated him so much that they still watched. This man Skip has been trolling LeBron for like 20 years at this point, and even if you know the route that he's probably gonna go, a lot of people still tune in because they want to know what he has to say. LeBron can have a 50-point triple-double, hit the game winner, and people will still be like, I wonder what Skip is gonna say. But let's just say that this is the end of Skip's career. I see people talking about him like he's this loser, like he's this failure. Skip is about 70-something years old, and he's still getting $1 million checks to talk about sports. If that makes you a loser or a failure, then damn it, I want to be one. This man Skip has been one of the biggest names in sports media for at least the last 25 years. I'm sure he's in some sort of Hall of Fame. He's solidified. You have all these clones that are trying to be like him, and I saw a report that says that Fox Sports wants Nick Wright to be the new face, but they need to figure some stuff out. I'm not the biggest fan of Nick Wright, but it makes sense. And I'm not talking rating wise because I feel like when it comes to ratings, anything Skip does won't be able to compete with First Take and what that show represents. But I do feel like, and maybe this is nostalgia, but I do feel like Skip could still be great today if you give him a good co-host, you give him a good person to debate across. Because I remember back in the day, man, when I was in high school, when I was a little kid, I could not wait to get home so I can watch the newest episode of First Take and I could see Skip Bayless debate Stephen A. Smith. That era of Skip talking about Tim Tebow was legendary. This man said that Tim Tebow was more box office than Kobe Bryant in 2013, and I ain't mad at it. That clip of Skip Bayless and Stephen A. talking about Batman and Maggie Gyllenhaal is classic, and it's one of the funniest clips in First Take history. Can you imagine if that conversation happened today? And I'm sure we all know about the classic conversation between him and Richard Sherman, and maybe I'm in the minority, But I think Richard Sherman looked nuts in that video. I don't know what the hell he was talking about. At that point, Richard Sherman was 2 years in his career. He was talking about, I'm better at life and I'm better at my career than you. Like, how are you going to say that to Skip when Skip at this point was probably already in his industry like 20, 30 years, and he was already one of the biggest faces in sports media? Granted, I don't know how the younger generation feels about Skip. I don't know how the younger generation feels about sports media in general. They're probably watching all these terrible athlete podcasts. They are so bad to me. But Skip made First Take a success. He made Undisputed a success. I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to do it again. Unless people have just gotten to the point where they're so fed up with Skip that it's nothing that he can do. I mean, when you think about somebody like Stephen A. or Shannon Sharpe, they seem cool with a lot of people, especially current athletes. But when you think about Skip, who is he really cool with? And let me be clear that Undisputed, since Shannon Sharpe has left, has been absolute garbage, and their ratings have been terrible. When Shannon left Undisputed and then the show came back, I watched for that first week just so I could see how things would kind of be. I haven't watched ever since. Like, I used to watch Undisputed every single morning when I woke up, but I can't stand Keyshawn Johnson, respectfully. I just think he's terrible. Like, he seems like a cool guy to hang out with. I just think he's terrible at his job. Shannon Sharpe leaving the show was the final nail in the coffin, and now people are wondering, what is Skip gonna do next? I don't know. Shannon Sharpe came out recently to publicly let people know that he does not have an issue with Skip Bayless. I mean, Shannon knows that he's the reason, or at least he's one of the reasons why he is where he is today. Even though Shannon has gotten a lot of criticism on First Take for his opinions, his Club Shay Shay channel has skyrocketed, and he also has a great show with Chad Johnson. ESPN just put out a statement the other day saying that they are not interested in bringing Skip to ESPN, and Stephen A. pretty much said the same thing. Stephen A. says that ESPN did not let him know that they were going to put that statement out, but basically he agrees. I mean, when you look at his team now, he got people like Darren Orlovsky, Kendrick Perkins, Mad Dog Russo, and a whole bunch of other people, and it's not really any room for Skip to even fit in that rotation. So what does Skip do now? I mean, he has his own individual channel, and I love the guy, but honestly, that channel is boring as hell. Skip is at his best when he has somebody sitting across from him and he can bounce off a conversation, not when he's sitting and talking by himself. I just don't know what other major cable network he can go to. I mean, what if he went somewhere like Amazon? I don't know if Amazon plans on doing a debate show. I just know that Amazon right now is, they out here spending that money. But regardless of what Skip does, I'm at least going to check it out. I'm going to at least give it a try. And I'm sure he's probably going to announce his next plans in the near future. But thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new here. We talk about a bunch of different things on this channel. What side of the fence do you fall on? Do you love Skip? Do you hate Skip? And what do you think will be his next move? Let me know in the comment section below. Love you guys. Tell someone you love them. Till next time. See you in the next life.